Wednesday. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, 2027 contentious suffers setback in APC has aspirants their governors. That's on page 3. With the writers saying Senate Leader defends Electoral Act, says contentious not sacrosanct. Party extends deadline for sale of farms submission. Federal government demands probe autopsy of Nigerians killed in South Africa. Gunmen kill 5 in Plateau community. Gunmen yet to free kidnapped IBEDC staffers 6 days after. Still taking headlines from Nigerian Tribune. 2 defendants admit knowledge of plot to overthrow Tinubu in video evidence. That's on page 2. EFCC arraigns ex-Sky Bank chairman over alleged fraud. And on page 3, we have the story that says Turaki, Arapaja, others make up interim NWC members of Makinde-backed PDP. Oyo governor says joy is coming, tells INEC to redeem own image. It is an illegitimate assembly, Wike-backed PDP says. And yes, on page 5 we have this that says under the health segment, it says scientists develop chewing gum to help fight oral cancer. And finally, the Vanguard newspaper registration. Dixon kicks as Ado vows court action. Fault INEC on NDC. With the writer saying NDC claims 10 million members enrolled in 48 hours. Old state congresses. ADC, Atiku's camp deny defection. Yes, defection talks with ADC. Akume brokers peace in Benue APC ends months of crisis. 16 killed in attacks on Katsina Plateau communities. You can check that story on page 7 of Vanguard newspaper. Video plotters admit to planning coup against Tinubu in court. 2027 PDP crisis deepens as rival blocs claim control. And finally, from the front page of Vanguard newspaper, again we have the story that says Chinese firms to operate worry Port Harcourt refineries. And this is from NNPCL. That's on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper. Yes, that's it from the headlines. And do not forget that the studio lines will be open shortly, so you can call in to share your thoughts on any of the headlines or story that catches your attention, because your opinion truly matters here. So I'll be starting with this from the Punch newspaper. It says xenophobia. Federal government seeks justice for slain Nigerians. The federal government has demanded urgent accountability from South Africa following the death of 2 Nigerians and a wave of anti-foreigner protest, warning that the incident threatened diplomatic relations and the safety of its nationals. The government issued a strong position after inviting South Africa's acting High Commissioner to Nigeria, Leslie Machele, to a meeting in Abuja on Monday with the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Danuba Ahmed. According to a statement issued by the ministry spokesperson Kibiebi Ebienfa, at the center of the disputes are the deaths of Nwemeka Matthew Ekpenyong and Kelvin Chidiebere Amara Miro, both allegedly linked to assault by South African security personnel. It was reported that on 21 April 2026, Nwemeka Matthew Andrew Ekpenyong died while in the custody of the Tinshwane Metro Police Department. And before his death, it was reportedly sustained injuries attributed to personnel of the South African National Defence Force, the ministry stated. And the government added that reports further indicate that a search of his residence yielded no incriminating evidence. So you can check for more detail on the Punch newspaper. So yes, the Nigerian government is calling on South Africa to take responsibility after 2 Nigerians reportedly died following the encounter with security personnel. Moving on, another story is saying, yes, this is Awujale. Chief Imam mounts pressure on Abiodun over delay. The Chief Imam of Ijebuland, Sheikh Muftaudeen Ayobadijo, has appealed to the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakpo Abiodun, to urgently intervene in the delay surrounding the selection of a new Awujale, stressing the need for the monarch to be installed before the forthcoming Il El Kabir festival. Ayobadijo's appeal contained a video cited by the correspondent came barely 12 hours after the chairman of the Fosemgua ruling house, Osunba Abdulateef Oyemi, also urged Governor Dakpo Abiodun to allow kingmakers to complete the Awujale selection process, which was halted by the state government in January. The chief imam reportedly spoke on Sunday during a send-forth ceremony for the first contingent of the state Hajj pilgrims departing from Gateway International Airport, Iperu, to Saudi Arabia. He urged the governor to address the lingering issues delaying the emergence of a new Awujale, describing the matter as critical to cultural and religious life of Ijebuland. So yes, that story is also from the Punch newspaper for today. And yes, it is saying that the chief imam of Ijebuland is urging Governor Dakpo Abiodun to step in over the delay in selecting a new Awujale. And yes, 8 billion naira fraud. Ex-Sky Bank chair Ayeni sent to Kuje prison. The Federal Capital Territory High Court on Monday remanded Tunde Ayeni, a former chairman of the now defunct Sky Bank PLC in Kuje Correctional Center, pending the determination of his bail application. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) charged Ayeni with 17 counts bordering on money laundering to the tune of about 8 million naira. The presiding judge, Justice Jude Onwe-Buzie, gave the order of Ayeni's counsel, Ahmad Rajisan, asked for a short date for the defense to move the bail application. The case had been adjourned to May 13, 2026 for the hearing of the defendant's bail application. And however, the businessman pleaded not guilty to the charge. Following his not guilty plea, the prosecution counsel Ekele Iheanacho San asked the court for a date for commencement of the trial. So yes, a former Skybank chairman is on the news, Tunde Ayeni. He has been sent to Kuje Correctional Center over the alleged 8 billion naira fraud case. That's huge. So yes, he pleaded not guilty and the court will decide on his bail on May 13. IBEDC, the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company (PLC), has said that two of its staff members in Ogun Region have been abducted. The workers were kidnapped on Wednesday, April 29, 2026, according to a statement signed by the IBEDC management. The company explained that two men were whisked away in the course of duty on the Oyo State axis of the Ibadan-Ijebu Ode Road. Said, "We are deeply concerned about the situation and our thoughts are with our colleagues and their families at this difficult time," it says. The IBDC, however, noted that it was in contact with relevant security agencies with a view to rescuing the employees. So yes, that is Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company. They have confirmed that two of its staff were kidnapped while on duty along the Ibadan-Ijebu Road in Oyo State, and the company has said it is working with security agencies to secure their safe release. CCII to politicians: disrespect Olubadan stool, face dire consequence. That's the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, CCII, has read a riot act to politicians in Oyo State, warning that any attempt to denigrate the revered Olubadan stool will be met with severe consequences. The warning was contained in a statement issued yesterday by CCII Publicity Secretary Mr. Kola OLAMIDE, amid growing concerns over rising reckless utterances and conduct in the state by some power-seeking politicians. And the council said recent actions by some politicians had crossed acceptable boundaries and posed risks to the dignity of traditional institutions in Ibadan land. CCII President General Chief Ajeniyi Ajewole, he said the council would not tolerate any form of disrespect directed at the Olubadan stool. He warned CCII would not watch the Olubadan throne being desecrated for political gains. The stool is sacred to the people of Ibadan land and must be treated with the highest respect at all times. This is from Ajewole. Any attempt at casting aspersions on the person of Olubadan and the stool and turning around to tender any apology would not be tolerated any longer. You mess up with that stool, you must be ready to face the consequence. So yes, this is from the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, CCII, warning politicians in Oyo State to stop disrespecting the Olubadan stool. It says that any further attempt to undermine the traditional institutions will attract serious consequences. So yes, that is from that story, and it is time to hear from you. So if you'd like to react to any of the stories this morning, you can call the numbers 07048 0010015, 07048 or 08022102163, 08022102163. Yes, you can call me on this numbers if you'd like to react to any of the stories read this morning. PDP dismisses Makinde Turaki's interim NWC. The Abdurrahman Mohammed-led National Working Committee (NWC) of the People's Democratic Party has described as illegal the composition of an interim caretaker committee for the party by a group backed by Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. The NWC said that it was ironic and disappointing that individuals who previously argued that the party's constitution does not provide for the establishment of a caretaker committee resolved to constitute one. So the party therefore advised its members and supporters to disregard the interim committee, which has Tanimo Turaki as its chairman and Taufik Arakwaja as secretary. Taufik and Arakwaja were appointed during a meeting convened by the party board of trustees in Abuja yesterday. So the Mohammed-led NWC, backed by Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Minister Yesam Wike, said the resolution at the Abuja gathering are null, void, and of no effect. So that's it from the People's Democratic Party leadership, rejecting the newly announced interim committee backed by Sheyi Makinde, calling it illegal. And finally, federal government seeks collaboration against fake news, defends press freedom. The federal government has called for stronger collaboration among the media, government institutions, and other stakeholders to tackle the growing threats of disinformation and misinformation, warning that an unsafe environment for journalists poses a danger to democracy. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, made the call on Monday in Abuja during the 2026 World Press Freedom Day commemoration at Radio House. The administration has prioritized collaboration with media stakeholders and national partners to promote responsible journalism, counter disinformation and misinformation, the minister said. Idris described press freedom as a constitutional right and reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting journalists and promoting responsible media practice. The federal government fully recognizes press freedom as a fundamental right and remains committed to fostering an environment where the media can operate freely, safely, and responsible in accordance with democratic principle and the rule of law, he said. And he ordered further saying that he condemned intimidation and attacks against journalists, stressing that democratic institutions suffer when media professionals are threatened. Yes, he highlighted Nigeria's partnership in establishing the International Media and Information Literacy Institute in Abuja to promote critical engagement with information and responsible communication. And just like that, we've come to the end of the newspaper review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, broadcasted live from the city of Ibadan. Thank you so much for joining me. And once again, I am Hannah George. Up next is Afoni Iroyin that comes up by 8 a.m. Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked to JDN 101.5 FM and do have a great day.